To order, let the minute taker please call the roll.
Alderman Ames.
Here.
Alderman Catalano.
Here.
Alderman Currielli.
Here.
Alderman Jacob.
Here.
Alderman Messina.
Here.
Alderman Shortino.
Here, I think.
Alderman Sismarski.
Here.
Alderman Woods.
Here. I declare a quorum. Next, I'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes from April 14th, 2020.
So moved.
Motion?
Any
Second.
questions, corrections, changes? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That passes. Next, report and recommendations. Review and approval of revised concept plan for proposed apartments at 372 North Wooddale Road. Mr. Murmas, take it away.
Thank you, Alderman Woods. This evening, we have a slight revision to the previously approved concept plan. We have a PowerPoint presentation. Brad Friedman from the Lindmark Group will be going over the presentation, and tonight we are just looking for some input and eventual, hopefully, approval of the concept plan so we can take it to the next steps moving forward. I'll turn it over to Mr. Friedman at this point.
Thanks, Jeffrey. It's good to see everybody again. Last time I came in, we were looking at a four-story building with a little over 200 units and a parking garage. And based on what happened with COVID and a lot of price increases with construction, we had to take a step back and relook at what we were proposing. So we've made some changes, and I'm going to go through those and highlight those with you. We're now looking at a four-story building. A five-story building that would have 176 units. We're obviously still looking at the same subject property here. And this was the original plan that was proposed last year with the attached parking garage, four-story with a large courtyard there. And now what we've done is we've gone to a five-story. We changed it from a wood frame structure to light gauge metal framing because we're doing 5 stories. We're doing 176 units instead of 230 units. Our project cost is going down to about $56 million. Originally it was $66 million, although in today's world, that $66 million estimated project cost would probably be more like $70 million or $75 million based on the price per square foot. Our original TIF request was $6.5 million, but we are now lowering that to $5.9 million. There are a lot of things that are going to stay the same with regards to the project. We're still going to have all of the amenities along Wooddale Road with the leasing center, the conference room, the business center, the yoga studio, the club room, the private party room. It's going to lead out to a courtyard with a pool and a fire pit area and grill stations and lounge areas. And this is what we're looking at now with the new site plan. So as you can see, it's a 4-story U-shaped building with an open courtyard, and it's a lot of surface parking, and we've designed it so there will be a lot of efficiency with regards to the layout, the units, and the access, the trash, and the amenities. Taking a closer look here, we're just going to zoom in a little bit. We are going to shift some of those amenities that you see in the northeast corner, and they're going to be a little bit more on Wooddale Road, but we will have an amenity in the corner area that leads out to that open courtyard. It'll be a nice club room with a private party room that people can reserve, and we will have a lot of our amenities like our fitness center and our conference room and our business center and our yoga studio. And the main entrance to the building will be in that northeast corner. And then we're going to move our trash and our loading to the north side of the property so it won't be visible from Wooddale Road. This is what the typical floor plan will look like on levels 2 through 5. So we got a mix of 1-bedrooms, small 2 bedrooms, large 2 bedrooms, and studios. These were the original images that we showed when it was a 4-story building. It's still going to be very similar. We're obviously adding a 5th level, and it's not going to be as long. This was another image. It's still going to, again, it's still going to be very similar with that grand entrance, except it's not going to be in the center of Wooddale. It's going to be on the corner. And when I have updated renderings, I will be happy to show those to you. Yes.
Alderman Messina, got a question?
Of course, my micro doesn't work. My microphone does not work, so. Based on that was my question, I was looking at all these renderings in preparation and didn't understand how that would look, especially if it's on a corner. So are you just talking about a horseshoe at this point, drive up, versus what this, to me, was a much more grandiose hotel feel? You can go back a.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if anything, like, the original plan was 4 stories, and now we're going to 5 stories, so I think it will still have that grandioso effect. We will, I wouldn't say that it's a horseshoe. I mean, yes, the design is like that, but you're not going to see that from Wooddale Road. I mean, the only people that are really going to be able to see that are the ones that are at the water park, on the west there. And it is going to be landscaped and fenced off.
I mean, I'm okay with that. To me, that was the appeal, right, on Wooddale Road where it was public facing, right?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like this is like, so I pull up at a hotel in downtown Boston where I just may be lucky if I can pull in the driveway and get a valet to get my car. Not very appealing to me. And then, or you have something on, Miami Beach where you pull up and that's the appeal, right? So, I'm gonna let you keep going, but I'm not very happy at this new rendering. I'm really excited to see what you come back with, and I would have hoped that we would have saw something new today, because to me, the big appeal for me was the front, especially if we're giving that much money in TIF. The whole part of it was the front, nobody's in back. There's very few residents there. I'm not there to appeal to 5-year-olds or 10-year-olds at the water park. So, please go on.
Yeah, no problem. Listen, you bring up some valid concerns, and I've had these conversations with staff and my entire team. The reality is, it doesn't matter if we build 24 units or 2,000 units on this site. The site work is what it is, and we're looking at about $4.5 million of site work alone with regards to, burying the lines, stormwater detention, all the excavation, underground utilities, water, sewer, sanitary, gas, electric, landscaping, paving, site lighting. All those costs remain constant. We actually, when I first came to you guys, we had about $7.1 million of TIF eligible costs. And because construction costs are increasing, we now have $7.5 million of TIF eligible costs, but we are lowering our TIF ask because the density, the overall project cost, is also lowering. But if you look at the numbers, and I'd be happy to share those with you, you'll see that the project simply just does not pencil out without the TIF. There's no cash flow. In fact, our construction lender is, requiring to take security interest in the TIF note in order to give us the funding to make this project economical and feasible. I understand that you're going to want renderings, and we do need to provide those for you. I just want to let you know that we've been looking at a lot of different site plans with the team. We were looking at a 4-story F-shaped building, a 4-story U-shaped building, a 5-story U-shaped building. We've been working with our civil engineers on all of the underground stormwater detention that was going to be required. We discovered that the western portion of the site is actually 10 feet lower than the site grade along Wooddale, and that is really the driving point that led us to go with this 5-story U-shape, because we didn't want to build on the western portion that was below grade. The cost of the infrastructure and the retaining walls was just not feasible. So we went with this 5-story U in order to take advantage of the existing grading on the site. Unfortunately, the team just did not have enough time to mass this, but they will put together a 3D massing. We will have images. Once those are available, we will definitely share those with you. I'd be happy to share those with you when I come back and we go through the redevelopment agreement. Yes, Jeff?
When you were done, I was going to have Alderman Woods.
Okay.
Recognize me.
I understand the apprehension. We're doing the best we can with the constraints that we have based on the site conditions, the cost of construction, and obviously wanting to give you a high-density, high-end luxury apartment building with all the amenities that everyone is looking for. But I'm certainly open to suggestions if anyone has any. That's why we're here. Yes?
Alderman Jacob.
In the front on Wooddale Road, then, so before there was just gonna be like kind of a U-shaped driveway. So now there's actually gonna be like like actual drive with parking there on both sides, or?
Yeah, we had to put the parking in order to meet a parking ratio of 1.5, which I think is the right number. And we were still able to get a drop-off area and some handicap parking over there, yes.
Okay, thank
So I'm just going to chime in. Well, not perfect. I like the other, obviously more is better and the street presence. But the only thing that's really changing here is that they pushed the building back and added that parking in the front. Part of that, as I understand, is to be able to get the circulation for the fire trucks to be able to go around the building. And then with reconfiguring the building and trying to keep it as close to the original concept as possible, this was as close as they could get it to the original design and still meet the intent and the required parking and the required stormwater, the required circulation for the fire department. So the front, again, the building is going to look pretty much the same, except now instead of, to Alderman Messina's point, instead of being closer to the street, it's going to be set back probably 20, I'll guess 25 feet back to get that row of parking in there.
That's correct, yeah. Yeah, it is, I mean, it's not going to be as long, you know, lengthwise along Wooddale. We are going to be adding an extra story. I don't think that's going to be a deterrence. I think it'll be a greater presence. I know that's what you guys are looking for. And I think at the end of the day, when you see the massings and when you see the quality of construction that we do, you know, I've said this before that, you know, there is an open invite for anybody to come tour the apartment building that we did in Wheeling. You can take a look at the exterior elements and the materials and the interior amenities and what we did there. That's the type of construction, that's the quality that we will bring to Wooddale as well. I'm happy to give you a tour if you guys want to come by and take a look at it. I will tell you that, you know, in Wheeling, obviously we had a lot more land. We did more buildings there, but you know, we've got 300 units there. We are at 95% occupancy. Our approval rating on Google reviews is 4.5 out of 5 stars. We have a lot of tenants who love living in the building. They say that they feel like they are on vacation at a resort. That's the type of, you know, luxury living that we're looking to bring here to your community.
Yes, so, just so I'm clear, the entrance is at the southeast?
North.
It's all in the northeast?
Yeah, well, we are gonna have, listen, that's going to be the main entrance for like, the leasing. But
Right.
there are going to be a number of different access points where residents who live in the building will be able to access the building on the ground level from a number of different entrances, right? But the leasing office, right?
Right.
If someone is, getting DoorDash or an Uber or some sort of a delivery or
That's
pickup,
where it's gonna be.
or if they're just coming to the building because they want to see what it looks like and they want a tour, then, they're going to be using that northeast corner as the
No,
main.
because you have the drop-offs.
No, actually, so and I'm sorry, listen, this is evolving, okay? Literally just this morning, I got an updated site plan, because I said to my architect, I said, you gotta swap, and you gotta put the drop-off area, you gotta swap it with the existing handicap parking. So he just sent me an updated plan where the drop-off is up north, but the handicap parking is down south. I agree with you. There are little nuances that we still need to adjust. I am working with my leasing team. I'm getting feedback from them on a regular basis. But in general, the 5-story U, the way it's situated here, is what we are proposing. We're still working through some of those details.
Right, and I know when the manager gave the opportunity to have a conversation, you were talking about the U, but the opening on the south side, and I think I even mentioned it to you at that time, it's like, that's where a lot of the traffic is gonna be seen. And
That's
so
where
now
I
you-
wanted the opening.
Right.
I wanted the opening to be on the south side, and Art said, no, you're better off putting it on the west side.
Because that's an elevation sign, and,
Yeah, and listen, again, what you see in terms of the courtyard layout is just a placeholder. I have not had an opportunity to get my landscape architect to really lay this out. In reality, the pool is probably going to be on the western portion of the courtyard to maximize the sun. I need to take a look at a sun study and then decide on where we're going to locate the pool and then design the courtyard around that. But I really rely on my landscape architect to do that.
and follow. So with the pool, I take it, it's closed, right? So when the kids are done at the Park District pool and they get
It's
kicked
it's
out,
private, yeah. Only residents can use the pool. Obviously, they can bring a guest, but
no, but I'm saying there's a fencing of some kind.
Yes,
right?
yes.
'Cause I know the ones near my work, same type
you
of
will not be,
concept.
no one will be able to access the courtyard unless they live in the building and have a key fob.
Right, no, these guys they have the indoor parking. This was put in a few years ago, before COVID. But their pool is on the outside of the building, on the west side. That's where they have it, so they got access all over. It's on the outside of the building, so it would be like, and this building would be in that southern portion, and they have it open, well, they have it fenced off and blocked, and they got grills. I went in and looked as a prospective leaser, but I just wanted to see what the project was, and they even have something up on the roof. Amenities.
We will not have amenities on the roof, but we will have solar panels on the roof.
Right.
We will be going for LEED certification, and we are big believers in solar panels and making this a green, energy efficient building.
Okay.
Yeah.
So just to be clear, no parking garage, those are just all parking spaces?
Correct.
Because I remember with the parking garage, it was that, there'll be additional parking spaces for when we have our community events next door.
Yeah,
Do
we
do
were
some of
able
that?
to sneak in some public parking down on the south there. I know it's hard to see, but they're kind of shaded in gray. So we were able to sneak in about 23 public parking spaces down there.
So does the amount of parking spaces allow for what, 2 cars per unit?
1.5 is the parking ratio.
1.5, okay.
So right now in Wheeling, the parking demand is at somewhere around 1.4.
Okay, thank you.
No problem. So these are similar images that you guys, they're the same images that you guys saw last time I was in here. But I just want to reiterate, this is what we built in Wheeling. That's a 5-story building. What you are looking at right now is what you will see on Wooddale Road. A 5-story structure with protruding balconies and a mix of materials.
How long did Wheeling take from start to finish?
The residential building was 18 months of construction.
No, from the day you said, hey, we want to build here, till the day you opened the door.
Well, the time frame was much longer because we had to wait for them to reset their TIF. So unfortunately, we were on the sidelines for a while. We don't have to worry about here because you guys have, I think, 20 years left in your TIF district, so we don't have to worry about you resetting the TIF district and going to the library and getting approval from the school districts. It's all set. So we are just, going to be moving forward. As I told Jeffrey, once we get PUD approval, we will need 6 months to complete our construction drawings. Once we get approval on the construction drawings, we'll need about 6 months to close on our construction loan from our lender.
According to what we're looking at here, you're looking at occupancy 125.
That's correct.
I know Rome wasn't built in like a day, whatever that line is, but gotta start hitting some caffeine on this project here and get it moving.
Yeah, and Jeff and I talked about a couple of different ways to get a head start, doing some preliminary early site work. Our lender doesn't really like us to do early site work, but since the city of Wooddale owns the land, there's definitely going to be some opportunities to get a head start and possibly demo the existing building and the foundation and the trees and bury some of the, utilities and, do what we can, so when we do close on the construction loan, we're that much closer to pouring foundation.
In the spirit of Alderman Sismarski's, Sorrentino's note, you know the background, you know why we're here. I mean, I think I can confidently speak for most of us up here is, like, we gotta move. I'm not as nice as the caffeine, like, something's gotta happen, because if you come back here in 6 months, it's gonna be a hard no for any more concessions. Like, put some skin in the game, whether you gotta demo it, whether you wanna plant some flowers there and demo it and leave it there. But I'm not doing this again with another developer. We have plenty of interest. I'm tired of this. Like, none of us have a crystal ball. None of us know if it's gonna go up or it's gonna go down, but at some point, something's got to give, or we got to move on. So a lot of everybody else speak for themselves, but this is insane.
Mr. Murmas.
Yeah, some of the things that Alderman Messina had just touched on, we're going to bring forth we have an RDA, obviously, with the development group already that the council had previously passed. We'll be bringing that later in May at the May 19th council meeting, I believe, and that'll have some stipulations on the timing and also some skin in the game parameters that we're discussing with the attorneys, whether it be financial skin in the game as far as some earnest money or whatnot, starting on the site work, like Mr. Friedman said, but there'll be some amendments to the already approved developers agreement to talk about some of the things you just mentioned on May 19th.
I think, and again, from the original plan that we saw, that we all liked, this is the closest we're going to get to it, given the need to reduce the size and scope of the project. So, that being said, I'll make a motion to approve the revision of the plan to get it moving forward, so that we can, because those are the next steps. We need to, get the agreement done. This then needs to go to CDC for
Yep.
the PUD.
Approval of the concept tonight, and then we'll go with the revised RDA on May 19th, and then Brad will work with his team and get this thing going.
Second.
Do you want me to put all the extra For the record, I'm gonna expand on my motion, because my buddy doesn't like what I said. Nah, not even close. I move to approve the concept of Lindmark Group revised concept plan with a 5-story U-shaped building as depicted in the rendering, subject to compliance with the City of Wooddale requirements. That is my motion.
Second.
Amended motion. Does the seconder agree?
I do, I agree.
Okay, the seconder agrees. We can just, we don't need a roll call, right? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? That passes. Okay, the clock's ticking.
Okay, I'll go get my shovel. All right, thanks, guys. Listen, I know everyone wants to get moving. I want to get moving on this, just as quickly. We just got to make sure that we, follow the appropriate steps. It takes a lot of work to get a $60 million project off the ground, but we'll get it
And
done.
if you could, whatever the soonest time frame is, so that we can see the actual rendering of the front of the building.
Yeah, I've given direction to my architects to go ahead and start the massing, and I want to, share all that information with you as quickly as possible.
Okay, thank you.
Have a follow-up?
Hold off on that other.
Mayor, please.
So, Jeff, are we looking going CDC in June? Since he's,
Mr. Merman.
We have to talk with our planner, Gosha, on that, work with Brad's team. The only date with certainty, it looks like, will be the May 19th discussion on the RDA.
for here,
For here, and
then
then,
it-
but the next time a board sees the project will be CDC.
And just to clarify, it's not like we're just sitting, twiddling our thumbs, waiting for that May 19th, meeting for the RDA approval. My architects, my engineers are all working on the project to come up with, the civil engineering design, the 3D massing, the renderings that everybody wants to see, and take it to the next level. So we are going to continue to move on this as quickly as possible. So once the RDA is approved, we'll be that much closer to be able to submit all of our drawings for PUD approval.
right, and I'm sure when we spoke, I know I said that we didn't want to be waiting or dilly-dallying. That's why I think I mentioned putting some earnest money down or something, so we see some commitment.
Yeah.
We've been down this street before.
Yeah, Jeff and I had talked about that, and I think that it's a good idea. This way, everyone knows that, we're on the same page and that we're committed. Yeah, that's fine.
Sure. Alderman Messina?
Yeah, just one final thought. I thought I had one final thought last time, but yeah, please put yourselves in our shoes. The egg in our face for this happening, right? We're promoting what was promoted by you guys, these renderings, and now we have to go back. And then we had other people looking at concept plans a few years ago. I mean, so for me, it's about the public image, right? And what they see, and we look like a bunch of clowns now because this. And so, yeah, we need skin in the game, because if something happens again, there's going to be bigger repercussions for everybody, really, for us. So
Yeah, and you're not the only one to go through that. When I was doing the project in Wheeling, there were a lot of naysayers, and there were a lot of people that were frustrated and said, "Oh, this is never going to get built." And that was a 16-acre project, and it was $120 million of retail, restaurants, entertainment, and apartments. And if you go there now, you'll see that we can deliver. We host a lot of events there at the Wheeling Town Center in the pedestrian plaza. We've got live music. We did an Easter event. We had over 2,000 people show up, and the people who live in that building love it. So I know it's frustrating. I know it's hard. I just want to let you know that if you do have patience, we will deliver a high-quality project for the city of Wooddale. So I'm, we're long-term holders. We don't just build it and stabilize it and flip it, sell it, move on, and go to the next project. So, if that helps, we we put a lot of thought and care and detail into everything that we do because we are long-term holders.
Yeah, and I just, so everyone is aware, the city manager certainly got the pedal to the metal for everybody involved. We have a weekly status meeting on these, and to get to this point, obviously, there was a lot of effort that went into it, and I think Mr. Foreman's very well aware of the history. We met with him, the first time we met with him, shared with him that history. So it obviously takes time for a project of this scope, but there has been a lot of work gone into it, and a very tight hold on the reins by Mr. Murmas.
Absolutely.
We just need to see the incremental growth and improvement, so, thank you.
Yeah, thank you, guys. I appreciate your
I think
support.
As soon as you get the go sign, a killer sign coming, don't say soon, something to the effect of the future is now. Leave the word soon out of it. Just blast the rendering that we're moving.
Already.
Okay, no problem. We could do that. All
Thank
right,
you.
guys, thank you so much.
Thank you for your work. We know what's gonna be.
Hopefully coming before you pass away.
And my invitation is open, like I said, to anybody. If you ever want to come out to Wheeling, I'm there on a regular basis. Jeff can give you my contact info, stop by, I'd be happy to give you your tour.
Just walking next door so much closer, you know? Price of gas and all.
Thanks, guys, I appreciate it.
Thank you. Keep up the good work. We love you.
Next items to be considered at future meetings, UDO update, May 12th. Is that still on track? Okay. 2 Pine Avenue single-family lot annexation, May 12th. 3 is fair housing, July 14th. And number 4, rental housing code change, spring, summer. Is there anything anybody else would like? There isn't? With that, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn. What's that, Alderman Sorrentino? You'll make the motion?
Yes, I was just
Okay,
thinking that.
seconded by Peter, by Nadine Ames.
I'll second it. too.
Okay, all in favor?
Leave it.
Opposed? We're adjourned.
Thank you so much.
I'd like to call the Public Works Committee to order. I'm going to take a note that same people are in attendance or present. Up first, I'd like to entertain a motion to approve the minutes from the last meeting.
I'll make the motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And that passes. Next up, reports and recommendations. Page, first up, approval for the replacement of Public Works truck number 231-122 in an amount not to exceed $260,973.90. Do I have a motion?
I make the motion.
Okay. Any questions? Roll call, please. Oh, sorry, Alderman Calhoun.
Is that one truck?
One nice truck.
One very large, expensive vehicle. Yeah, it's one of our larger dump trucks that we use for snow removal. This is for the purchase of the truck and the build-out. And we've also factored in a 10% surcharge, given the state of affairs. If you want a truck in calendar year 2023, you have to order it today. So we factored in 10% on the purchase cost, just so we make sure that we come in under that.
Yeah.
Okay, Mayor, please.
Are we changing models on our trucks? Did I understand that correctly?
Director Lang?
Yes, we have began rolling over from the international models to the Peterbilts. Our last few purchases have been the Peterbilts. We find them to be more reliable and have less mechanical issues.
Anybody else? All right, we'll go roll call, please.
Alderman Ames,
Yes?
Alderman Catalano,
Yes.
Alderman Currielli,
Yes.
Alderman Jacob,
Yes.
Alderman Messina,
Yes.
Alderman Sorrentino,
Yes.
Alderman Sismarski,
Yes.
Alderman Woods.
Yes.
And that passes. Items to be considered at future meetings, road program, May 12th, Public Works Campus Phase 2 bid, May 12th, city sign program, June 9th, Second Avenue design options, May, June, salt purchase, summer. Any other items to be considered?
Can't wait to get that
Alderman-
salt purchase
What's,
done.
what is the Second Avenue design? Where is that?
Second Avenue and 83.
We don't have a Second Avenue in Wooddale.
It's unincorporated. It's the
We-
inlet
yeah,
off of 83.
Unincorporated, we don't have it. So who's paying for this design?
something we passed.
That's what we.
Go ahead, we passed that.
I wasn't here, so.
Well,
City
the
manager
part
on
we're,
this?
the part we're talking about intersection to a Wooddale-controlled intersection, so that's why it's on the agenda.
Yeah.
where does
Any
it
other
go?
items to be added? Okay. Is there
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. That concludes my report, Mayor.
I'd like to call the order of the Finance Administration Committee. Let the minute take note that the same council members are present. Next, I'm going to make a motion to approve the minutes of April 14th, 2022. Second. Any corrections? If there are none, motion carries. Next is report recommendation, water sewer rates. Mr. Wilson, Director Wilson.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
You're welcome.
Yeah, so I guess some good news and bad news about the water rates. The good news is the rate increase that you all passed last year, the $20 fixed cost, is doing exactly what we thought and hoped that it was going to do from a revenue generation standpoint. So you'll see the first paragraph in my memo of the analysis says that, you know, from the city standpoint, at this point, we do not recommend any rate increases. We're going to let that keep rolling, and like I said, it's doing what we thought it was going to do, which is good. The unfortunate part of the water rate conversation is we were informed by way of the DuPage Water Commission's draft budget that the city of Chicago is raising the DuPage Water Commission's rate by 21 cents, and they are passing that 21 cents along to all of their member communities. So that's the second paragraph of the analysis. Historically, the city has passed along the DuPage Water Commission rate increase so that we were not subsidizing the rates. That's one of the things that actually, ironically enough, got the Water Commission a little twisted up a few years ago from the city of Chicago. That led to the significant rate increases over, was it probably like from like 13 to 18, they had those huge rate increases. So with that in mind, you know, the recommendation would be to pass along the DuPage Water Commission increase, which to the city ultimately would be a zero sum. We would not generate any additional revenue. Obviously, not passing it along, we would be exposing to subsidizing that rate increase. But like I said, the city portion of the rate model has stabilized and is working like we wanted it to. Like I said, that's the good news. Bad news is the DuPage Water Commission, by way of the city of Chicago, is raising our rate 21 cents.
Go ahead, Alderman
So
Nadine.
just to clarify, so it's 21 cents per 1,000 gallons, right?
Go ahead.
That is correct.
Okay, and then, so what does that actually equate to for just an average family? Like, how much more would that be per bill, roughly?
Go ahead.
Sure. So the city, when we kind of base the fixed costs and like the flat sewers and things of that nature, we assume a two-person household with each person using 3,000 gallons of water per month. So right now, the industry standard is between 2,500 and 3,000 gallons, depending on if you have the low-flow shower heads, the new toilets, things of that nature. So we kind of assume on the high side, just to be safe, so we still use the 3,000. So if you assume the two-person household, 3,000 gallons per, which is 6,000 gallons, obviously billed per 1,000, so it's just a factor of 6, times the 21 cents would be $1.26 per month. Now, if you're a household that uses 15,000 gallons, we just take 15 times the 21 cents. If you're, a smaller household, not using a lot of water, if you use 2,000 gallons, that'd be 42 cents a month. So
Okay.
it's just whatever your usage is. Like I said, just divide your usage by 1,000, get that small number, and then multiply it times 21 cents. I think the Water Commission in the memo said 7 cents a day. 7 cents a day, a month of 30 days is $2.10. So, like I said, I think we're probably more realistically somewhere in that $1.26 range, to $1.50. But they've said about $2.10 in their explanation in their draft budget.
Okay, thank you for clarifying that.
Any other questions? How much does it equate to the whole city as far as if we don't pass this to the residents, how much would it cost the city? Go ahead.
Thank you. Based upon the last rate model we looked at, that would be somewhere, depending on if you're looking at 2 years ago, which are the wet year or the dry year, somewhere between $80,000 to $85,000.
A year.
Correct.
Don't forget the industrial.
Go ahead.
Don't forget the industrial park, too.
Any other questions? Okay, so we're going to have a roll call to increase that
Need a
rate.
motion first
I'll make the motion.
for the 21 cents.
Yep. Roll call?
Alderman Ames.
Yes.
Alderman Catalano.
No.
Alderman Curriell.
Yes.
Alderman Jacob.
No.
Alderman Messina.
No.
Alderman Shortino.
No.
Alderman Sismarski.
No.
Alderman Woods.
Yes.
Coming anyway, though. They're right, they're gonna raise it anyway. County's gonna raise this anyway.
Next is,
You got a
report-
question there?
Go ahead, Mayor.
So Brad, basically you just said we just gave away 80,000
No, we
correct?
didn't.
because on the water usage. So, and talking to you, your model talks about increasing the fixed cost, was it 5% or something? When we went over it, right? Because we still have that loan.
Go ahead.
Yeah, in the future years, the model did call for a couple of years of 5% increases.
The fixed cost?
It was the overall.
Overall.
Overall, yeah,
Okay.
overall blend was 5%. For, not this year, but starting then next year for 2 more years. And then it pretty much leveled off until 32, when the first treatment loan starts getting paid off. And then there could possibly be some concessions to the rates, depending on
Right.
what else is going on system-wide at that point.
Once the loan is paid.
Correct.
Right, so right now, we're just gonna eat the cost, and then we'll have to rip another Band-Aid off in a couple of years, because, okay,
Good questions for legal.
got it.
I'd amend my motion to yes instead of no.
No, but
I
you can't,
didn't, because I wasn't aware that they said, who made the motion, we're city's gonna pay for it. They're gonna raise this anyway.
right. I said no, but I'm going to give you
Oh.
no, but you can make a motion to reconsider.
Yeah, I'd
And
like
if
to
you
make
get
a motion to
second on
reconsider.
reconsider, that would bring the main motion back on the floor, and you can amend it at that point.
I'd like to make a motion to reconsider.
Second.
Alderman Ames.
Yes.
Alderman Catalano.
No.
Alderman Currielli.
Yes.
Alderman Jacob.
No.
Alderman Messina.
No.
Alderman Shortino.
Yes.
Alderman Sismarski.
Yes.
Alderman Woods.
Yes. So, point of order, then so now the main motion is back. So now the main motion is back on the floor, so if the motion that failed is back on the floor.
So now they need a new motion, right?
So you can, no, you can re-vote on that motion, or you can make a new motion if you want. But the motion that failed was to have the
Increase.
21-cent increase.
Go ahead.
Maybe it warrants asking a few questions. So we're talking about $85,000, right, overall? Is that correct? Sorry.
Depends on what this.
Go ahead.
Industrial park uses too.
Per year, yes.
Include.
That's
Yeah,
everybody.
That's
That's everybody,
the whole town.
Yes.
including the industrial park.
everything.
So,
Versus possible $1.21 per household.
per household,
Average of two-person household, 6,000 gallons.
We're not the only town.
No,
Every
right.
town's getting it.
So.
Go ahead, one at a time, please.
Sorry, I thought he was
Go
the
ahead.
chair, sorry. I'm talking to you like you're the chairman, and he's like, oh, no, okay, sorry, Chairman.
All right.
So, knowing that, and knowing that we've hit people, we still, at least me and Alderman Jacob, continue to get calls about the fixed increase, one we did, because that was a big blow. To me, it's just the optics of another price increase, it could be 1 penny.
Right.
We're gonna get hammered, and so that's why, for me, I'm opposed. See what happens, very optimistic about some of the developments that are coming. Hey, maybe that'll just be a bigger nudge to push these guys to finish their building. I don't like the optics. I get it, it's only a few pennies, but it's still just, this can't be the behavior. We just constantly raise rates on people. We need to, I'm okay with cutting out a project or slimming down a project, whatever we need to do to make up the 80, whatever, thousand. I don't want to do it again.
Mayor, go ahead.
Okay, so we still have all the gambling money going in there, which was only 100,000, now it's 180,000. And I keep hearing we want things done, like we want the power lines over by Irving and Ash to be done, that's 175,000. That gambling money should be used, was supposed to be used for that kind of stuff. And listening to, well, if we have to cut some projects, I'm willing to bet that if we start cutting some projects, we're gonna have some issues, because I've been saying that for a couple of years, at some point, we're gonna have to make some decisions. And you're not gonna like how these projects then are gonna get cut, because you're, oh, we said the people were gonna do them. So at some point, this 21 cents, we're getting it, we're just passing it through. The fixed costs that we did, we passed it because we have to pay for the $1.9 million loan on the treatment plant. So just to say, oh, we'll cut a project, I can't wait to see what project we're gonna cut. Because I've been saying it for years, I can hear it already, the discussions up here. It's gonna be ridiculous because we don't wanna pass 21 cents. Okay, fine.
Alderman Jacob?
I mean, I would agree with Alderman Messina, and the other thing I would say is, before we raise it, I think we would have to look at other revenue-generating options. And there are some out there. Several of us went to Springfield and heard of other towns having other, options of how they're generating revenue, and there are things to consider and possibly put on a referendum to the residents. So that'd be my...
Mayor?
So now we're talking about going out for more money out to referendum. We already had the fire department last year, the school was just up here last week. So the city's gonna put out a referendum? I can tell you, I'll be complaining about that one. That ain't gonna happen.
Mr. Jacob, follow up on that?
The referendum would be to approve some of those revenue-generating things, not to do more money for the residents.
Ferris wheel?
Alderman Woods?
Yeah, my question, so right now, when we're talking about what we're passing, I know people said $1.26, but we're talking about 21 cents per 1,000 gallons. I mean, I'm a two-person household, we only use 3,200 gallons, so that's 63 cents. I don't know where you guys get the 3,000 a person, but maybe that's average
That's
for
in
the
my house.
industrial.
My house.
That's it.
Yeah, we're-
I'm coming over, I'm gonna put the water savers in, we're changing.
One at a time, please. One at a time.
Okay, so with the prior rate change, right, that didn't address or take care of
It took care of it.
everything. So we continue to have a slight, we'll call it a shortfall under the present pricing structure too. So this just then, if we don't pass this, is gonna add to that and accelerate. Is that correct?
Go ahead.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. I love it. It wastes a lot of my talking time. So, again, this is a small one, and I know that optically you don't want to pass it, but most people aren't even going to see the 60, 80 cents that's on the bill. It just doesn't make sense not to pass it and accelerate us falling further behind. Although I do get the optics. No, I get it, I'm not.
Alderman Sorrentino?
Sorry, sorry.
You know, I think it's the mindset of this council that gets passed on to the residents. And yes, I know it's election year next year, and I know that camera's up there and going on YouTube. Let's forget about the voting nonsense and be concerned about the overall good of the city. And let's first realize that Brad didn't sit in his office and say, hey, let's jack the water bill. That's Lori Lightfoot in the city of Chicago that's stuck so far in a trench financially, she's pulling dollars wherever she could. She's like, hey, let's go after DuPage County. And she did. So now we're faced with, okay, what do we do with this? The mayor gave a beautiful explanation about the usage has gone down, or not the usage, because of all this savings with all this new equipment in homes, the loan stayed up here, the usage is down here, and the loan is still due. This is pittance compared to what we got on the agenda and on the progress of, I almost said Mayberry, the progress of Wooddale. So, you know, we can't nickel dime because we're worried about, oh my God, the residents. We said no higher water rates. 84,000 compared to someone taking a hit for $1. It's time the residents pull together and take one for the team they call their home. That's all I got to say. And that's why I changed my vote with this reconsideration for the whole city. And they'll realize it one day.
Alderman Messina?
And I can appreciate that. At the same time, how many blows can someone take, right? So inevitably, I can guarantee you, put a friendly dollar bet that he's going to be back up here in a year asking for another increase. Sorry. But it's going to inevitably happen. And I would rather lump in this peddly 80,000 into that and do it then, or I will volunteer one of the Ward 1 $80,000 projects to do that. To me, we just keep punching people when they're down, kicking them when they're down. I don't know, this is 80,000. To me, he's gonna be up here. It's not gonna go away. He's gonna be asking for more money again for another increase. So it's like, I don't care about the politics. Kick me off tomorrow. I don't care if I don't run again. I'm doing for the common sense of like, visually, we're just keep kicking people when they're down. It's $80,000. No. And then we try to figure out where we can cut a cost. And I'm okay, volunteer. Let's go through all Ward 1 projects and we can take $80,000 off. But, I mean, this is crippling people. This is nuts. And I'm not, turn off the camera. My microphone doesn't even work, so no one's even hearing me anyhow. But this is crazy that we're even having this conversation for $80,000. Yeah, it's over there. They don't even hear me. It doesn't work.
So I understand this is not the city of Wooddale for imposing this 21 cents. This is coming from the city of Chicago, and it's just a cost that we're getting charged more for.
So Chicago and the free gas.
Correct? So it's
You
just
think
like
they
a
got all the money
wash.
for that
It's
gas?
just like when I go to the gas pump, I'm paying
We got
what
hit-
the
we got
inflated
hit all the
prices are. The
suburbs,
gas
we got
station's
raised
not
everything.
subsidizing
Get the gas
the
off.
increase. So this is just something that we're talking about passing along to the resident, correct? This is not, we're adding anything to it, right?
That is correct, yeah. The city of Chicago, the contract with the DuPage Water Commission allows them for a 5% increase, which is the 21 cents for the city of Chicago. DuPage Water Commission is passing that along to all their member communities, of which we're one, and the proposal in the memo would be to roll that downhill one more time. To your point, yes, the city itself, our rate structure, we're not asking for any additional money. I know, obviously, again, from the optics standpoint, it goes on the bill, people have to pay it. So technically, yes, the city water bill is going to go up. But I guess the baseline point that you're trying to make is that, yes, the city itself is not saying, hey, we need more money because we need to do additional projects or something like that. It's passed through it's derived from the city of Chicago to the DuPage Water Commission to the city of Wooddale. It's not just last year was the city's increase. This is a pass-through increase. albeit still technically, yes, affecting people's water bills.
Follow-up. So when does this go into effect?
Monday.
Okay. Another, and are they able, is this locked in for a certain period of time, or how
Done deal.
long? Can they come back in 6 months and say, we're gonna increase it again, or is this a set period of time that this
Yeah.
price is good for?
My understanding in talking to the representatives of the DuPage Water Commission is that the city of Chicago can adjust their rates on an annual basis.
Yeah.
And you could probably take a guess what the city of Chicago is going to do in 12 months, but they haven't said that yet, but probably take a guess.
Okay, one last one. So when was the last time that we got an increase from them? Do you know? So,
About 6 years ago.
Yeah, about 6 years ago.
oh, okay.
That was a 99% raise. 102% raise.
Thank you.
Yeah, it was 102 or 106% raise, along with the Water Commission's 102% raise to get out of debt. So in all clarity, if this 21 cents didn't come here tonight, you wouldn't be up here asking to what to do. We would be covered right now.
That is correct.
Okay.
Just so everybody knows, the city of Chicago's got a contract with the Water Commission, which is due, is it 24 or 25, coming up in the next year and a half. They're already negotiating,
Yeah.
right? And so when they had that last big one, city of Chicago raised it 90%, because when they raise us, they raise all their residents at the same time. And that's when we got a big 90%. And at that time, we were already in the middle of doing our treatment plant, so we had to tack on top of that. But unfortunately, we tried to take the slow approach, and water volumes went down by about 80 million gallons over 6 years, which if water volumes would have stayed the same, it's an extra 600,000 plus a year. So per the city code, since we passed all those plumbing codes and international codes and everything, when you're remodeling, you have to put in water saver faucets and toilets and everything. I can tell you, I'm in the process of doing that, and right on the permit, if you don't have water sense products, you will fail inspection. So I had the old 3-gallon tanks. Now my tanks are 1.2 gallons. So maybe my water bill will go down. That'd be nice. But, and Brad did say, at some point, he's talking about 5% increases on the overall bill. We mess around here, we're getting the increase, we should pass it through. I don't like it either, believe me, I hate my water bill, but it is what it is. And I see the numbers, and we're gonna fall behind. And every year we have CIP, and I see we add more projects to the list. We don't wanna hit the brakes on the projects, but then we don't wanna raise either. We better decide what we wanna do.
Okay, so we're going to have a roll call on the increase? Make a motion on the increase.
I'll make a motion to approve the 21 cents. per-
Roll call, please.
increase.
Alderman
Same
Ames,
thing. To approve the 21
Yes.
cent pass-through.
Alderman Catalano,
No.
Alderman Currielli,
Yes.
Alderman Jacob,
No.
Alderman Messina,
No.
Alderman Sorrentino,
Yes.
Alderman Sismarski,
Yes.
Alderman Woods.
Yes.
And that passes. Okay. So next is items to consider at future meetings. Line of credit coming up spring and summer. And the IT control room coming up spring and summer. And I'd like to add something on there. I'd like to have some type of meeting or a water summary. Maybe we could all sit down and figure out for future increases what we can do to come up with new revenue streams. I mean, not charging the residents, though. So I'd like to put that on the agenda. Maybe we can all meet on a Saturday. Go ahead.
I have something else that I would like to just put on the items for consideration. It was back to a previous meeting where the contest was for the city sticker artist. I think that the family of the child should get free city stickers, like 2 per household for winning the contest, to have that as part of like the prize. It just seems if they designed it.
No, this is
I'd
consider.
like to put it on there, so if we can consider that, adding that to the program.
I think we can make the motion. I'll challenge the attorney on this one.
Maybe give them a free water race for 1 month. Okay, so, Julie, Alderman Sismarski, go ahead.
Yeah, Brad, is that, or Mayor, does that gaming come under that finance for the water?
Yeah, gaming.
I want to find a way to get,
The gaming money right now goes to the water fund. It was, when we moved it there, it was about 100,000. Now it's closer to 180,000.
well, I know where it came from, and I know it was earmarked for 1 year only. I want to
Well,
put back
no,
on there to
that's
find out
not
where.
true, Alderman
It was,
Sismarski.
we said we would do it for a year
No,
and see where it went. We never voted to keep it going, so it needs to generate, it can't just keep taking from there. That was for other projects,
again,
so.
the motion, the staff can
That money's never
pull it
gonna
out
be in it.
for you.
That's why we need a water summit.
That's why I want to add it on there to help figure out, get it off of there, and find out other ways of generating more money than just stealing from Peter to pay Paul all the time. That was supposed to go somewhere. That was supposed to go to.
Do we have strategic
streetscape.
planning this summer?
No,
No.
but we can do a workshop on that.
Yeah,
Okay, great.
thank you, thank you.
Wooddale Water Summit.
Yeah. Okay, so, any other items to consider? If there are none, I'll make a motion to adjourn. All in favor, say. Opposed? We're adjourned. Thank you very much.
Good night, all.